I don't have any tooth. I'll admit it. I will brag. Those players did not just go and whip that ass for us to be like, oh, good game. No, we whipped your ass. We took $800,000. Now we're partying with it.
Yeah, who cares if you're in the Power 5 conference if you don't win it, ever? Or you don't beat any of the teams in it? Like, what's the point of that? Wouldn't you rather win the conference and say, like, hey, my team is good, than lose the conference and say, well, our conference is good?
Look, they don't call me Tip for nothing. And my tip is, look out for the Group of 5 this season. They've been taking it to the Power 5 year after year.
The only quarterbacks that ever get any love are from the Power 5. I could easily list off the top Group of 5 quarterbacks I would rather have than those guys. I would be willing to bet that at least one of them is going to be in the running for the Heisman this year.
Down the middle, James, the lateral to the corner of the end zone. Can you believe that?
What's going on, everybody? Matt Sprouse, Group of 5 guys. We're back, getting ready for NFL draft season. We're going to have an interview with Minnesota Vikings scout Alex Dale. We're going to have that for you next week. We're going to be at the Senior Bowl next week. A lot of good stuff happening. NFL season's winding down. College football's over with, but we got these all-star games. We got the combine. We got the draft. Then we got summer workouts. And then we're back. College football is right around the corner. I think we are 30 Saturdays away at this point in time. Before we go any further, you guys make sure you hit like and subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Follow us on all the social media platforms at Group of 5 guys. I'm going to go around the horn, check in on everybody. Swag Bear Jesse Grisham, how we doing, sir?
Doing fantastic, Sprouse, as I start this or continue this transition from Swag Bear to Swag Jag. I have come across some new workout gear that I am just I'm obsessed with. I talked to you about it the other day. Lululemon.
It is good.
Talk about some nice shorts, some beautiful shirts. They're stretchy. They also they hold in your sweat, give you a nice breeze as you're running. They hold everything in. Really, really, really enjoying Lululemon. I've become a Lululemon fanatic. Literally got about 7 pairs of shorts now, a couple pairs of shirts, got a bag. My wife's got some shoes. She's got a little
I didn't know they made
fanny pack. But we are Lululemon pretty much on the board of directors now. So I'm doing that still staying on my grind, still running every day. I've started squatting now. I'm getting my legs, and I'll tell you right now, I'm squatting today, and as I was squatting, I had these Lululemon shorts on, and as I got real low down, this may not be appropriate for the podcast.
You might have been hanging out at the bottom, weren't you?
I'm telling you what. I'm telling you, you just saw like a balloon, like a water balloon in between my legs, just hanging there, and I was like, oh my god. But then, every time but it was also motivation. As I went back up, I was like, I want to see that again. So I went back down, and I got even lower to see even better glimpse of it. And then
You don't wear compression shorts?
Oh, I do. Sometimes you just can't. You can't hide. You can't hide what you're blessed with. But I tell you, I enjoy working out. Still, I am like I said, Lululemon connoisseur. I'm not losing any weight. I don't know what's going on. I just had an apple and some water, so hopefully that shed some pounds tonight. I'm doing good, Sprouse. Doing well.
I'm proud of you. Seriously.
Yeah.
I will now listen. You want to know what's really funny? After you told me we were talking about Lululemon, because I tried for the longest to avoid it, and then Lauren bought me a pair of shorts one time. They're great, actually. I'm in there now. I have a home gym, so I'm not doing this in public just yet. But I'm in there with these little 5-inchers on.
Oh yeah.
My legs hanging out. Some other stuff hanging out sometimes.
Listen, I'm not a very boastful man. I know what I look like. I know my flaws. But I've always had a good set of legs. And these shorts make my legs look even better. So, love Lululemon. And I know how expensive Lululemon is. I can't even say it 5 times fast. I know how expensive it is. But however, #blessed, just down the road from my house is the largest outlet mall in Georgia. And they have a little Lululemon outlet shopping store. So, where they go to die is where I go pick them up.
It's not bad. Yeah, I told you. We got a Lulu diaper bag now.
There you go.
I mean, I got a couple pair of shorts. It's good stuff. It's good quality product, Jeff. It is. I know. I mean, look. They're from California, so I don't know.
Can I also say this, Sprouse? I know it's a long introduction for me. Whatever. I can't go into the gym wearing these Middle Tennessee football crap anymore. I can't do it. Not when I say crap, I mean like I have the same stuff from 2012. And back when I was big and I was throwing up 350 pounds on bench press, yeah, I was representing MTSU. You don't want my big ass in there, put 185 on the bar struggling right now wearing MTSU football. They're going to say they don't know what they're doing in there in Murfreesboro. So I got to stop wearing it. Granted, I know I'm 30 years old, but these guys, they don't know that. They think that I just got outdone playing MTSU and I'm over barely bench pressing 185 pounds.
You know what? I know this is a long intro, but do you remember when we graduated and we started going to the Gold's Gym in Murfreesboro, and there would be all the guys in there that somehow got some gear from somebody, and they'd be wearing it, dressed all in blue in the Gold's Gym, doing their little bicep curls, and we'd be like, that guy didn't play. That guy didn't play here. That guy didn't play. That's what they would be thinking of you.
Exactly. So I got to go in there, my Lululemon bright lime green shorts and my khaki shirt and get after it.
Yeah. Anyway, well, moving on. Tyler Tipton, as always, it's good to see you. How are you, sir?
Great to see you too, Sprouse. Good to see you, boys. I'm doing great, and I also wear the Lululemon. Great product, great shorts, great shirts.
God.
I also wear the Lululemon.
Do we have any executives from Lululemon that are listening to this show? Because I am sensing a partnership.
I would love nothing more to say. Brought to you by Lululemon.
We'd be
Brought
wearing
to you by Lululemon.
bright ass lime green shorts at the
I would
tailgate.
wear it every day. I swear to God.
Sorry to cut you off, Tip. Continue.
No, you're good. Yes, I just had to throw that out there. But yeah, I watched the NFL divisional round games this past weekend. And I know we're not an NFL podcast, but we are a football podcast. So I do have to ask this question to all of you guys. The Josh Allen incompletion or fumble, what do you guys think it was? Do you think it was an incompletion or do you think it was a fumble? Because it looked very similar to the Josh Dobbs play with the Tennessee Titans versus Jacksonville Jaguars, Week 18. Winner goes to the playoffs. I'm just interested to see what you all think about that.
Is this also the play when they were still down by 17 points with like 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter and it really didn't even matter? Didn't care. It didn't even matter, though.
I argue the fact that it did matter, especially for the NFL, their pockets in trying to make money, because I thought it was a fumble. So if they fumbled the ball down 17, giving the ball back to the Bengals, that's like some people, probably myself included, at that point are going to change the channel, and not because they're down 17 at that point. They don't have the ball anymore late in the fourth, but then they overturn that ball to incomplete to try and get the Bills to drive and score again and make it a close game. I don't know.
I think they did that with the freaking Jamar Chase touchdown. I thought that was clear as day.
That was the worst call.
But they're going to call it incompletion. They're just trying to keep this game close because I was about to change the channel like you just said, Tip.
I couldn't disagree more with either of you guys because Josh Allen's was an incompletion. His arm was clearly cut. Actually, I'm just gonna. Sorry, Tip. I'm taking the
Start
whole
over.
intro.
You're good.
Hey, Murph, how are you?
Good God, I can't get Lululemon.
Lululemon. Jeff.
I mean, you just can't hide money, boys. I'm over here buying frickin' what are those Red Baron pizzas for my kids? You guys are over there buying.
Those are good. Red Baron
Yeah,
pizza.
they're the cheapest pizzas
However, they
in the
do
frozen,
have a new frozen
pizza
pizza
market.
called, like, Little Sicily.
But now stop. It's my intro. You had your turn. Pipe down over there. Lululemon. You guys got to be kidding me. You guys, we spent like $500
No, come on.
on workout attire. I'm over here in the cutoff group of 5 guys T-shirt with my Blue Raider shorts on. I'm getting a sweat, just pumping it 5 days a week, boys. Hopping in the cold tub after that. Now let me go back to Josh Allen. His arm was coming forward, way different, because they played that and Josh Dobbs on SportsCenter back to back, and Josh Dobbs, his arm wasn't even coming up yet, in my opinion. Second, Jamar Chase, the ball clearly moved when he was out of bounds. And I don't like the rule. I think it should have been a touchdown, but the rule states that if you go out of bounds, you have to control it, and the ball moves clearly in his hands.
Can I rebuttal you on both accounts? on all three
No,
accounts.
you can't rebuttal on Lululemon. That
Lululemon.
ship, that ship is sailed,
I'm done with Lulu. Honestly, I only have 2 pair of Lulu shorts, and I wear them on squat days only. But other than that, so Josh Allen. Here's the deal with that, though. Yeah, his arm's coming forward, but it's obvious that he's not releasing the ball right there. Like, it's obvious that the contact is what made him drop the ball.
No, but the whole thing is the arm coming forward in a throwing motion, and
But
the
it
arm
already
was
went-
coming forward.
Yeah, but it already went through the throwing motion, and he was still holding
I
it.
don't know. I mean, I don't disagree with Tip though. I think that it very well could have been overturned because of that game in that situation, and it's the NFL. I'm not disregarding that, but I do think there is a small bit of difference between the Josh Jobs.
Well,
The Eagles
and
and
you're
Giants
never
played.
going to get a favorable call in Buffalo. Listen,
No.
as a guy,
When the
trust
Eagles
me.
and the Giants played, it was a huge game. The ratings dropped by over 50% by the halfway through the third quarter. So you mean to tell me whenever the Bills started getting slammed by the Bengals that they weren't just a little bit worried that the ratings are going to drop? Just a little bit.
I mean,
Let me tell you, guys, and I know he's
Fantastic
not a
point,
group of
Swagger.
five guy. Joe Burrow's cold.
oh, he's a dog, man. He's good.
I absolutely adore him.
He's so
I don't know what it
good.
is. And when he said,
Well, I know
"Get your
who
refund,"
Swag's first pick of the draft in fantasy next
Joey
year.
B.
and I
Yeah,
ain't got it. I ain't got first pick. He's gonna be my keeper, by God.
Oh,
when did you get him? When did you get him?
Huh?
What round did you get him in?
Probably like 8th or 9th. So I'm keeping him. I'm keeping. I'm coming. I'm back. I'm coming back. And let me go back to this Lululemon deal. I will tell you this, Jeff. You can wear your little torn off sleeves and showing off your grizzly chest hair and your six.
the
I don't
point-
have that. The Lululemon makes me look really, really nice.
The point you missed is it's my it's a group of five guys T-shirt. And every day somebody is seeing on the back of it at group of God, that guy's fucking
Hold on
jacked.
a second.
He's
Now, hold-
jacked. What is group of five guys? I gotta go follow this. I'm a walking advertisement.
Hold on a second. I thought you worked out in the barn.
It's too cold. I don't have.
So where-
It's
so
not
where you-
insulated.
So where
That's
are you
what
working
Sylvester
out? Hold
Stallone
on,
said
wait, hold on,
Rocky
hold on,
IV,
hold
too.
on, hold on. Where are you working out, Jeff?
Planet Fitness is right down the
Planet
street.
Fitness PF.
I knew he was gonna go there. Come
I
on.
bet. I mean, how many times? do you get in
Lululemon
trouble
or
for
Planet
slamming
Fitness?
slamming down the weights.
I mean, wait.
Yeah,
so
honestly, they don't have weight.
that's the only gym that's closest to my house, and I can't lift in my barn. It's damn 20 degrees out there. My hands get stuck to the bar.
Hey,
saying
dude,
Sylvester
I go out
Stallone
there, I
did
put the
Rocky
heater
IV,
on. It does
and he beat
nothing in the
Drago.
garage. Hold on, Jamar Chase. I go. I'm so sorry. I got to go here. Then why, if you dive, let's say you dive for the end zone, and the tip of the ball crosses the goal line, and then somebody smacks you and you lose all control of the ball, why is that still a touchdown?
Hold on. You're talking about if the ball
Like,
has
if
already hit the
he's-
pylon. He's already got control of the ball when he's diving. That's the whole point.
But he doesn't have it to complete the act of getting into the end zone.
Yeah,
like-
but the goal line is a barrier. Once you cross it, that's it.
Well, yeah, but you
That's
already
it.
crossed it. So if he catches it, if he makes that exact catch at the 1 yard line and reaches his hand, cross the pylon, and then goes to the ground and
Hits-
drops it,
hits the-
they're gonna give him
He hits the pylon.
even if he crosses it, even if he just sticks it over the goal line.
Yeah. I could be
That's what
mistaken.
I'm saying.
I believe the goal line is different than the back line and the sides of the end zone.
Stupid rule.
I'm with you. I don't disagree with your analysis.
Where are we in the show right now?
Well, let me tell you right now. If you
Should
were
be plugging
to go
prize
to,
picks.
okay.
Yeah, Prize Picks. Use our code GOFG up to $100 match. They got all kinds of promos going on Prize Picks right now. But NBA, you know, my wife took Luka. She didn't know. She didn't understand. She takes him under 0.5 points the other night on a free square. I'm like, you could have won like $600 right there, and you took him under a half a point.
You know,
Best player in the NBA.
my dad's not a betting man at all, but he told me, he's like, I swear, if there was an app where you could bet on a player, I would bet on Luka for every game, and I guarantee you come out into the year on top. He's probably right. That guy's amazing.
Did you let him know about our partnership with Prize Picks?
Yeah, I let him know that.
Hey, Dad.
Get $300.
Hey, my dad's been paying for all my Spirit pack. You know when you're in high school and you had to like go and sell $500 worth of merch, and I'd wait till the very last day. Like, Dad, I need a check because it's the last day, and they didn't give me any notice.
World's finest chocolates. Y'all have to sell those.
World's finest chocolates, coupon cards, coupon books, car
magazines,
washes. Yep. Had to go wash cars in my Lululemon shorts and dry them off with my chest hair. I'll tell you right now, though, Sprouse, I'm going to go ahead and save it for you. If you were going to do the Atrocious Award for me, I can't make this up. I was literally going to talk about the referees in the Buffalo Bills and Bengals game and how they were trying to continue to make the game better than it actually was, because it was atrocious. I also, you can edit this out if you want, but how many times are we going to have to hear about Hamlin? How many times are we going to have to say it's a special occasion for Hamlin? He had his home game the weekend before. They're trying to use it to their advantage. I think it's messed up. Use it to their advantage to try to get
the emotions
to win against the Bengals. I didn't like that because it was like
no, I didn't like it.
Second goal. They're like, here's DeMar Hamlin. Woo! Okay,
yeah, but that's the TV.
You need to be quiet. You get a sense of
that's the TV broadcast though. That's not.
He's at the stadium. No.
No, I know he's at the stadium, but I'm saying that's the TV broadcast who pans to DeMar Hamlin. You can't even see him, and there's like a blizzard coming down.
Well, he's got a ski mask. Yeah, I'm a little bit conspiracy theorist. I wasn't going to say it. The guy walks into the tunnel. He's got a mask on covering all the way up there. He's got like 3 security guards with him. I don't know.
It's freezing cold up there in Buffalo, boys.
In the box?
I want to make sure that I make this clear. I'm not talking bad about Hamlin. I'm talking about the organization as a whole using this as an opportunity to try to motivate their team to win a ball game. Look, the guy's sick. Let him stay in bed. Okay, you don't need him out here, no skybox in 2-degree weather.
I think the guy, he wanted to be there.
Yeah, well,
I would want to be there.
I'm with you. No,
y'all can take that off.
I think it's fine.
Honestly, this has been a weird show so far because so far it has been 3-on-1, and Jeff Murphy is the outlier tonight.
That's
unbelievable,
feel, buddy.
I'm fine with it.
Look at my life for the past 3 years.
I'm good. I can take them all. At least I'm not wearing Lululemon.
So,
my God,
I'm going to go put them on right now.
I got
underwear. Doesn't even wear Lululemon.
Well,
you know what?
Get your wife a Lulu diaper bag. The thing is phenomenal. Just all black, very neutral.
It allows you to poop in it, everything. Like it does not allow any leakage whatsoever. What are you talking about?
Diaper bag just holds.
They don't poop in the bag.
I think the Lulu diapers.
I don't think they have those. Those I would not be able to afford. I can promise you that.
I could barely afford the Pampers.
No, yeah, I know. So was that your Atrocious Award there, Jess?
Yeah, honestly, the Atrocious Award was just the game yesterday. So the referees, in my opinion, and the Bills' just overall play, and Dak Prescott is atrocious.
He's poor.
It's atrocious. It's atrocious.
Yeah, Jeff, we've been off for a couple of weeks, so I know we got a couple of voicemails. Let's let them ride.
Yeah, just a couple of our some of our callers that have called before just wanted to call and check in. So we'll get to the first one. Baker Loy has comments about Sam Houston State.
What's up, guys? It's Baker Loy. Long time no speak, I guess. I don't know, whatever you want to say. I'll be honest. I kept watching. I kept, my fandom up, but I quit calling when my Mountaineers started struggling. So, hey, I guess I was fair weather with my my phone calls. Sorry about it. But, hey, on another note, I got to bring this up. And I know, I'm just another Sunbelt fan hating on Conference USA for this, but I can't believe that Sam Houston State would sell their soul to move up to FBS to get that schedule that they've got. I was looking at that schedule, and I mean, look, a lot of the Conference USA schools have a rough schedule, and that's just coming with the nature of the beast of that media rights agreement that they agreed to back in November. But my God, Sam Houston has 11 games this year. 5 of them So almost half of them are on a weeknight, and they only have 4 total home games. 3 of those are on a weeknight, and the 4th one is on Thanksgiving weekend. I mean, look, TV money's not going to keep you afloat, and you've got to keep your donors if you're Sam Houston. And, I mean, I think they're going to struggle if they keep having schedules like that. Not to mention, they're not going to build their fan base, and you got to get more donors in order to keep things afloat. I mean, what are they thinking? Like, are these programs just going to tank because of the amount of games that they're playing on weekdays? I mean, are they just going to lose all their fans? What do y'all think? Sam Houston fans, I'm curious for y'all to call in. Liberty fans, all of y'all. I mean, how are y'all planning to do this? Lord, I know us in the Sun Belt, we have a game or two midweek, and I mean, it's painful enough to take off and get to that, but Lord knows on 4 or 5 weeknight games, I don't know how you're going to do that. Curious to hear y'all's take.
Appreciate it, Baker. It's a good.
Well, their schedule's brutal.
Point. Yeah, but that's all Conference USA. They've all. I think it's starting in October right? Into somewhat of in November. There's a stretch where it's all Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday night games.
I mean, I don't want to speak for Sam Houston State, but you know, unfortunately for Conference USA, the attendance ain't really there on Saturdays either. So I don't know, and I still can't get over. I know when we were in college, I can't think of anything I'd rather do on a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday night. So, you know, sometimes it might help. And when we were playing, we would get those Troy games on a Thursday night. Those were, or Western Kentucky on a Thursday night. Those were always the most crowded games we had. But go ahead, Jess.
I'm in no way trying to disrespect Sam Houston. I more think that if I was a smaller program entering Division I for the first time, in my opinion, the best way to get your name out there is doing all these weekday games. Let people, because there are people aren't watching them on TV last year and the year before, but now they're actually going to get to see these guys go against better competition on the ESPN Monday or Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday nights. And in my opinion, that's going to be better for them than playing on Saturdays and having their normal fan base. Now you're actually getting your school out, you're getting your name out there, and people looking at you across the country and seeing you on maybe bi-weekly basis.
And just hearing rumors before the change was made in Conference USA, I mean, it's a money draw too. It's the TV money. So I think that's why Conference USA did this. So I don't know how much of that gets, I'm assuming a lot of it, I would hope, gets returned back to the universities in Conference USA. But, I mean, that's going to help them somewhat as far as, you mentioned the donors and getting new donors. I mean, they should get a cut of the TV money. So, I don't know. Interesting. It's a good point, though. I mean, I think there's some schools that it could hurt and some it could help. So, I think it's just on a school-by-school basis. But
yeah, the only one off the top of my head I would think it would hurt would be Liberty, just because they've been consistent with good crowds on weekends. So we'll see. But I think Liberty's got enough of enough momentum right now. They're going to keep it rolling even during the week.
Yeah, appreciate it, Baker. Keep checking in and let us know on any App State news that comes across your feed that we don't know about. So, all right, our last caller is our boy Terry Johnson, just checking in.
What's up, Group of Five guys? Terry Johnson here. Just calling, checking in on you guys, just giving my perspective on what's been going on, what I've been watching in college football. First, man, we had to lose a new Conference USA opponent, New Mexico State, because they're joining our conference this year. And we had a home and home with them for this year, and I think 2026 or something. They make these announcements all the time, like 5-10 years in advance, but now we got to drop it because they joined Conference USA, and so now we got to find a last-minute replacement. Our administration is so old and rotten and decrepit. They would much rather play FCS opponent McNeese or Lamar than try to get a home and a home, or 2 homes at home, or one at home with a P5 school like Baylor who needs an opponent. And I'm so fed up with our administration. They don't care about the young people. They don't care about the fraternities. They don't care about the atmosphere at the stadium. All they care about is their old, decrepit, old traditions, which we have none because they just kick all the young people out. So hopefully they'll figure that out. I'm pretty pissed about that. I mean, nothing against New Mexico State. I understand they want to join the conference, but we're on the losing side of this. And next thing I look at is Florida, old turncoat Billy, shits the bed on a NIL deal, $13 million with one of the best quarterbacks in the country, and they couldn't pull through the money. And he wants out of his national letter of intent. I think he's already out of it. And I think this is the good part of NIL, because you look at how corrupt it is and how uncertain it is. It's not like a coach signing a contract for 5 years, $13 million. It's just it's just a conglomerate of just boosters trying to give money, which is not really the same. When you think about it, it's just So hopefully this will open the eyes of some recruits that, hey, I know you want to make money. I know this school offers all this, but go somewhere you're going to be, appreciated instead of tolerated. Go where, you're going to play a lot. And, it doesn't seem, which college sports itself is slimy in itself. There's always going to be crooked people, but, it feels good to know that Billy Napier is dropping the bag. I really just don't like him anymore. Thank God for him for everything he did, but UL, but can't leave like he did and expect good faith. But hey, hope you guys are doing well. God bless. God bless Group of Five. God bless Group of Five guys. Go Cajuns, y'all.
Appreciate you checking in, Terry. Yeah,
$13 million NIL deal. I'm just seeing this for the first time.
Yeah, Jalen Rashada or whatever quarterback.
I'm researching it right now.
Yeah.
My
Dude,
God, that's more than NFL players.
But apparently he's not getting it. That's it. That's I don't understand it, because I thought NIL wasn't supposed to be used in recruiting and in all that stuff, but obviously it is, and whatever. We knew that was going to happen, but I mean, so if that's the case, so are all these kids just committing based on some old guy telling them, "I'll give you some money," essentially? I mean,
that's how I took it.
But then
it's not about facilities.
None of it's
probably a deciding factor
guaranteed
for some of these players. Yeah.
No, I know, but then so none of it's in writing. None of it's. They're just.
Oh, you're saying why?
How did this fall through? Why is the money not there anymore? Or did somebody just blow smoke up this kid's butt, or what?
I wouldn't be surprised. It could have been. I'm sorry, Jeff.
No, I didn't have anything. I have no idea.
Because that kid flipped.
Can you imagine that kid going? Imagine. Let's play hypothetical here. This kid's in Gainesville on his weekend, and he's going out to a nice dinner, and then some booster who's had a few too many Buffalo Traces is just hell, goddamn, I'll give you $13 million if you sign here tomorrow. And he's over here, goes to his parents I'm taking my ass to Florida. And then next thing you know, the guy's I never said that.
I didn't hear it.
I wouldn't be surprised if that happened.
Yeah. I don't know, man. This recruiting, I mean, I've been trying to follow it a little more than I have. It's getting bad. These kids, dude, and I think it's part of it's NIL, part of it's social media. I mean, the announcements they're making. I mean, you got their moms and dads on Twitter and stuff.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's bad.
It's getting bad. And like we always talk about, 9 times out of 10, it's mom or dad or older brother or uncle that's wanting some money or wanting some spotlight. This is the Cam Newton thing, just right in our face with any top recruit. And it's getting really bad.
You have guys signing that big. I thought the $1 million for Bryce Young was outrageous. Still is. You got guys that are potentially getting $5 to $10 million an NIL deal. Reggie Bush should get his Heisman back. Hands down.
I mean, some of the stuff that they're trying to give death penalties to universities for is you're signing 3 stars for that kind of deal now. Oh, a house? Yeah, no problem.
I mean, y'all ever seen I know Johnny Manziel? He's on all kind of does all kind of documentary stuff, and he was telling a story about where a booster for A&M contacted him, flew him out to Miami, Florida, and he had to sign 10,000 pictures and autographs himself. But he did it for $100,000. Well, actually, the first time it was for $10,000, and then another guy sold it for $100,000. he got in trouble apparently, and he had to sit out his whole senior year, lost all his stats and stuff. But that's another example. Like, all his stats need to be given back because it's so minuscule compared to what these big time players are making now.
Well, and to be honest, and then Terrell Pryor, they were getting free tattoos at Ohio State, and they got in trouble for that. I mean, to me, those are the kind of things that should be like Johnny Manziel is a household name at that time.
Yeah.
He should be able to sign some autographs and make some money. You shouldn't have some guy that has nothing or very little to do with your athletic program be able to essentially influence recruiting. I mean, what's going to happen? So what if this kid goes to Florida and this booster gives him 13 mil? He gets there and he's not good. And then Napier's like, oh, well, he's not going to start. And then Booster comes in and says, hey, I'm giving $20 million to this program every year. You better play that kid. And then, I mean,
that's a really good point.
It's so bad to me. They got to do, and hopefully there's a program that's getting followed around other than Deion Sanders right now that they can do like some reporting on this. And I think there's going to be some serious corruption coming out of this stuff. But, anyway, we got to move on. We got Senior Bowl coming up next week. I can't wait to be down there. I wish we were going to be down there all week because by the time we get down there on Thursday, it's going to be the last practice. So you're already going to have some guys that have surprised some people or come up out of nowhere. If you guys are looking at the rosters I sent to you, that's not a depth chart by any means. It's in no order. And I don't think they really I don't know how they're going to do it. But I want to just go through real quick, take it position group by position group. Or actually, let's do it this way. If y'all are good with this, we'll just go around and talk about a player that you're excited to watch or you think's got something to prove or you think can prove something. And then we'll hit that position group a little bit while we're in there, and then we'll call it a night. If that's good with y'all. If y'all don't mind, I want to start with Old Dominion offensive tackle Nick Saldiveri. And why I start with this guy? Because here's the deal: he's on the American roster, and the rest of his O-line counterparts that he's going to be compared to are Alabama, Florida, Louisiana transfer, Minnesota, Oklahoma, Tennessee, TCU, Syracuse, Ole Miss. So he has some quote-unquote big-time programs in his offensive line group. And then when they go, I cannot wait to watch one-on-one pass pro for that kid because the D-line and linebackers, it's pretty much you can pretty much take your top 4 SEC programs and put 2 of their D linemen or linebackers on this team, and that's who's on the American defense. So he's going to get a chance to prove himself against those guys. And I want to read y'all the Sports Illustrated evaluation on him, draft evaluation. So here's why it makes perfect sense for him to be on this roster and be able to go against these guys. So here's your Sports Illustrated evaluation. Saldiveri is a small school right tackle who offers decent athleticism and power, but he's not elite in any area and doesn't jump off the screen despite facing lesser competition. And then they talk about him playing tackle in college. He'll probably move into guard. Dude's 6'6", 315. I mean, he could play tackle, but maybe guard. But if he's not elite, he's going to get a chance to show that he's elite against this group. So, and then in the game, depending on what series he goes in. It's Wisconsin, Notre Dame, Wisconsin, Clemson, Oklahoma State. It is your programs on top of programs that he's going to have a chance to prove himself. And honestly, that's what the Senior Bowl's for, in my opinion, for a guy like that. And look, Old Dominion had a pretty good year, and it ain't like the Sun Belt is lacking, really good defensive tackles. There's a couple of defensive linemen. There's a couple in the Senior Bowl. But I'm looking forward to see what he does. That's one of those guys. Every year there's a lineman that's a, quote, small school guy that has a big day, has a big pancake block in practice and goes viral. So hopefully it'll be him. But that's what I got. The only other group of 5 O linemen, you got the kid from Troy, Jake Andrews. And I think that's it on the O-line.
I believe so. And Sprouse, if I can take it for a second.
Yeah.
Jake Andrews, 6'3", 325 pounds. I mean, Sunbelt champs was, kind of anchored. That offensive line was one of their strengths this year, and especially down the stretch, they ran the ball really, really well. I'm looking forward to seeing what he's going to do. I mean, he's on the national team. He's going up against, if I'm looking here, Alabama, Auburn, LSU, Mississippi State, Missouri, Oklahoma. I mean, pretty much all SEC, a couple Big 12, but mainly SEC defensive linemen. So he is going to get put to the test. And
during the game, he's going against.
That's what I mean. Yeah. So it's going to be. He could either, if he does really, really well, he could skyrocket up there. And his draft, I guess, scouting report is his run game. He's looked as like a mauler. Pass pro needs some work, is what they're kind of saying. But I'm excited to see what he can do against those big boys.
Real interesting on that national team in practice. Coastal's nose.
Oh, that was my guy.
Yeah, well, that'll be interesting. The Troy Coastal, see if we get some fisticuffs.
Yeah. Jared Clark, nose guard for Coastal Carolina. I just remember when we were at the Georgia State game and he came running out of the tunnel. I was just in awe, just staring at him. I was like, my God. He was clearly the biggest guy on the field, 6'4", 340 pounds. He looked like he was 6'5", to be completely honest with you. And so that whole game, Georgia State, who ended up being a pretty good team and a physical team up front running the football. What Jared Clark does, he's not exactly a tackling machine, but that big body, what he does is he's like a Jordan Davis from Georgia. He just clogs up the hole. He's going to take about, at least two guys to block him. He's going to free up linebackers to make plays. He did a fantastic job for Coastal Carolina doing that all year. And I'm excited to see him for the national team going against the American, who also is going to be your SEC offensive lineman. So he's going to get to see how he performs against quote-unquote big-time competition.
Yeah, and then even on the national roster, it's interesting how they did it, but that O-line, aside from Jake Andrews at Troy, I mean, you got two guys from Michigan, you got Southern Cal, you got Ohio, you got Ohio State, you got a bunch of Big Ten guys on that O-line. Yeah, so Sports Illustrated's draft eval on him. Unique defensive tackle, versatile athletic profile that displays a mixture of quickness and explosion, all while being the size of a true nose. I'm trying to think of a guy. Like, he's going to be
size of a truck.
Yeah, he's a freaking hoss. Yeah, he's going to be one of those guys that can come in and play like, right up on the center or a 2-eye or whatever and take up a double team. But, Tip, what about you? You got a position group you're really looking at, or?
Yeah, so I got a couple of guys from the group of 5 at running back. Tajay Spears from Tulane. So you look at Tajay, and I mean he's listed at 5'10", 195. But like what is crazy to me is his projected round that he's supposed to get drafted in. I got my information from NFLDraftBuzz.com, and it's saying he's going to be an undrafted free agent. Which is honest, yeah. I don't think that will happen.
You got a timestamp on that? Like when they wrote that?
I can look and see.
It had to be before the bowl game.
Yeah, it had to have been, because I mean, we've all seen Tajay play for this whole past season, and I mean he's extremely quick. He has great speed. He's shifty. He runs well both in between the tackles and outside the tackles. He's an elite receiver. They didn't use him as much as they probably could have as a receiver, but I mean, he runs his routes incredible, like better than most receivers. And you can just tell just by the way he catches them. He just has good natural hands and the ability for him to catch the ball, get upfield. I'm really excited to watch him play not only in these practices but during the Senior Bowl game. His biggest weakness that they're saying is he's limited to cut blocks when it comes to blitz pickups, mainly just because of his smaller size. But whoever gets this guy, I think he could start out maybe as a kickoff returner, maybe as a solid third down running back with his elite receiving abilities, and could eventually become an every down back. I truly believe that. I'm really excited to watch him play. Also, you got Cam Peoples from App State, the bigger running back of the two, listed at 6'2", 225. We've seen this guy play in person a couple of times. He's more of a one cut and north and south runner, and really excited to see how well he does, because I mean he's a bigger, like I mentioned, he's a bigger running back that kind of gets off. He kind of runs with his shoulder pads down a little more, can kind of bounce off some tackles, and really all it takes is that one cut from him, and he has enough speed to get north and south very quickly. So I'm excited to watch both of those two guys play.
With Peoples, he had such a good running back room at App State that he didn't probably get as many carries as he would have elsewhere. But yeah, I mean, that he was one. Every time we watched that play, it was like you're thinking one of the other guys is maybe the better player, but for as big as he is, he's a home run threat too, man. He has a lot of big runs. And then Tyjae Spears, I mean, that dude, ain't no way somebody doesn't pick that guy up in the draft. He every time he touches the ball, he's got a chance to go.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see, like you said, after that bowl game he had. I just think this draft, I mean, I'm not saying that he's not, I think if he does not get drafted, he definitely gets picked up. It's just deep. It's a big running back. He's just looking at all these names. Deep at this
bowl game, dude. It's deep on his team.
Yeah, that and there's a lot of people playing in the other bowl games besides the Senior Bowl. I mean, and I know he's not playing the Senior Bowl. You got Dwayne McBride. I mean, he's another one that's, I think, could get drafted or right on that line. But just looking at this list of running backs that are going in the draft this year, it's steep. So I hope he gets drafted. I think he's well deserved for it. But if he doesn't, whoever does pick him up, he's going to make the team, and he's going to shock a lot of people.
Yeah.
Tyjae Spears.
Yeah, we hit Tyjae Spears and Cam Peoples at running back.
Let's say we lost you. Lost your feed. Yeah, no, you're good.
As much as he impresses me some weeks, some days he looks like he's not running the ball with as much passion as he does the other weeks. So my question is, or what I want to see from him is, how is he going to go against this upper competition, And y'all may have a different thought on him, but sometimes when I watch him play, he's running high, he's getting tackled easily. Then some games, it takes 7 guys to take him down. It's just which Cam Peoples is going to show up. Granted, you'd hope to be the best version of himself for the Senior Bowl, but it's going to be a huge weekend for him.
Yeah, that's another thing too with him, and I certainly don't want to speculate anything, but he tweeted a couple of things after the season that he was maybe not quite is happy with the touches, and like we talked about a second ago, they got 4 really good running backs on that roster, so he could have gotten and maybe should have gotten more touches, but sometimes you got to feed the hot hand, and so that'll be something too. I mean, I'm sure they're going to ask him about that kind of stuff. How'd you deal with having? You're about to go to the NFL, so you're about to have 4 guys that are just as good as you, better than you. So how do you deal with that? But yeah, he did. He does run super tall. Kind of trying to, like Darren McFadden, kind of be a good.
Well, he reminds me of like when Derrick Henry first got to the league. I remember after he left Alabama, his first year of the Titans, I was like, God, who is this guy? Like, he was getting shoelace tackles left and right. But then it's like he just figured it out. He's like, wait a minute, I'm better than you. Yeah. He just started plowing people over. Maybe Cam Peoples has one of those. Yeah. Only crazy. Cam Peoples could probably be as big as Derrick Henry, if you just put a little more.
Got to go see Jason Spray, huh?
Just go see Jason Spray and do a few medicine ball throws against the wall and be ready to go.
Well, honestly, with Derrick Henry, like, you're right. It seemed like he was so stiff, and then maybe he was Jason Spray, dude. I don't know. All of a sudden, that guy's bending at the knees, bending at the
Here you go.
Well, as a Titans fan watching Derrick Henry, so like when he first got into the league, he would get the ball and he was kind of hesitant when he was, going into the, like, in between the tackles and through the holes and stuff. It was just so focused on trying to find the open holes And it was just like, dude, like you're however big Derrick Henry is, like just run, like just run straight, like, and that's very similar to how Cam Peoples runs. Like I mentioned, he's a one cut and go north type of runner. So yeah, so I mean that could translate well into the league. And Sprouse, so maybe it wasn't. I couldn't find a timestamp from that NFLDraftBuzz.com, but I went on a Sports Illustrated site. And they have Tajay Spears 5th or 6th round pick, but still, I'm seeing later round undrafted free agent. I don't know. I don't get that personally.
It's just probably his size.
Yeah.
It's got to be the number one knock on him. They're probably scared he can't block and whatever. But so what about, so we hit O-line, we hit running backs. Before we talk about quarterbacks and receivers, let's go over to defense. So Jesse talked about Gerard Clark at Coastal. Carl Brooks, Bowling Green defensive lineman. He's kind of a DN type, but he's big, dude. 6'2", 305. And then they're saying here, Sports Illustrated saying he plays high, powerful defensive end with a well-developed set of pass rush moves. I mean, everybody needs a good pass rusher. We were talking off air about all these quarterbacks. Number one thing that gives the quarterbacks problems is a pass rush. So, and he's on that same roster as Gerard Clark. So in practice, he'll have most of these Big Ten guys: Maryland, Michigan, Notre Dame, Ohio State, USC, and then in the game, he's got all those SEC offensive linemen to go against. So, really, though, I think I'm really excited to see I don't know if they go as far as doing like inside at this thing, but I know they do pass pro.
Yeah.
That's going to be, I mean, if they got that going, I'm going to spend the whole day sitting there watching those guys, because I know one time I got embarrassed in pass pro, never played again. So, want to see what he can do.
He had a good year at Bowling Green, too. He recorded 12 sacks, 60 pressures. I mean, I'd love to just see him, like you said, Sprouse, one-on-one against some of these, big tackles on the edge, and see if he can work his moves in his hands and get around the corner.
Yeah, I mean they're saying dudes runs a 5'1", so he doesn't have the arm length probably to extend at defensive end to keep contained. But I mean he's so big, he might be lining up a little bit more inside, and you have more of an outside backer standing outside of him on that. Yeah. What about Carlton Marshall? He's so small that I think he's gonna get shafted. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But somebody's going to give him a shot in camp, and he's just going to have to – he's going to be a guy that's going to have to do something like over the top in practice or in preseason to make a roster, I think.
But, I mean, that's the type of guy he is, though. And I think he's going to be used to that scenario if for some reason he doesn't get drafted. And anybody that picks him up is going to get an instinctual linebacker that's ready to rock and roll, pretty much fit him into any situation. And he's an incredible tackler. I mean, he's got a motor it kind of reminds me of like a Max Crosby type motor, just never stops. So anybody who does sign him is going to get a steal.
Yeah. I mean, and he's one too, though. I mean, if he's a linebacker, you want to see if they do inside. If a double team, if a guard comes off a double team and he's sitting there, does he just get crushed, or does he hold his own? Does he make a move? Does he make tackles? I mean, the guy has the NCAA record for tackles. So say what you want, group of 5 or not, dude's getting to where he's supposed to get. Yeah. And size wise, like, sure, the Sun Belt offensive linemen maybe are not as big as they are in the Big Ten or the SEC, but they're still way bigger than he is. Yeah. So, I like to see him. A lot of experience there.
Technically not a group of 5 school, but
where you're going.
The Andre Carter, right?
Yeah, Army.
6'7", 260 pounds. Obviously there's been a lot of talk with him in the news about Joe Biden releasing that he can actually go play NFL if he's qualified enough to play. Heck, the guy's a baller. I'm excited to see what he's going to be playing against this kind of competition. 6'7". Exact opposite of Carlton Marshall.
They're on the same team or no?
Yeah, same team. You're going to have Carlton Marshall that go to his hips.
Yeah, they're going to be doing linebacker I'll say I guarantee.
Well, I'm
they
curious if they're going to have him at DN or actually outside linebacker. I bet
he's
they
like
have him
a.
at DN.
I'm trying to think of. I mean, just off like a Van Noy type of guy, you know, like just stand up the end, pass rusher,
3-4 stand up DN.
Yeah, but they've changed that rule. Like they go back and forth on that rule whether the academy guys can get drafted or not, which I don't get it. I mean, I know, like, go ahead.
No, well, I was gonna talk about another player if you were done talking about him.
No, yeah, I was just gonna say there was guys, you know, like Ben Garland was at Air Force when I was there, and he didn't get drafted, but he would like do preseason, and then he would have to serve like as a reserve in the off season until he did his, you know, owed 5 years of service. But I think it was always if you got drafted, it was different. It was almost the same. They gave him an exception as if like they would if you made the Olympics, because they would give an exception for the Olympics, but since football's not in the Olympics. But anyway, go ahead, Jeff.
I was going to go to Dorian Williams, Tulane linebacker. This guy he's a stud now. 6'2", 220 pounds, and he had 85 tackles on the season, 2 interceptions, 6 sacks. And against the USC Trojans, he had a total of 17 tackles, 9 solo by himself. And you want to compare him, you know, against a Power 5 school, I mean, there you go, right there. And they ended up winning the bowl game, and that defense, I mean, they did what they had to do to stop the Heisman candidate, you know, on a number of drives to keep them in that game. And he's going to be one that I'm excited to see. I hope he gets drafted, but same thing if he doesn't, somebody's going to pick him up. I hope the Raiders pick him up because he'd fit in perfect next to Denzel Perryman.
All right, Jeff. Quarterbacks. You only got 2, right? You just got Jake Haener and Clayton Tune. So I'm sure I don't know if they'll split them up, and hopefully they leave Tune with Tank Dell, so they can have some chemistry there. But
I'd imagine
what do you think?
I'd imagine they're going to split them. I just think that's what they're going to do. But at the same time, I think they've done it by schools. Because if you look at the two,
seems like it.
Yeah, the 2 Troy guys are together, Tulane guys are together. So maybe they will be on.
I think it was by conference. Maybe I'm way wrong. Is that
no, it's not. It's not totally by that because there is guys. Well,
I think it's by conference, but that might just be me.
I mean, either way, if it's by conference or like by team, all the guys, if they're on the same team, they've been on the same roster. I don't think they've split anybody up, have they?
Yeah, well, I don't know. It's not totally by conference because it seems like mostly, though. It seems like you got pretty much. No, it's all over the place.
Okay.
It just looks like it because it seems like all the Bama and LSU guys are on the same team. And there's more of them than anybody else on it. But yeah, you got a couple of guys from different conferences on other teams. But
either way, whether they split them up or keeping them together, I'm excited to see both these guys. I hope they have them on opposite sides of the one on national, one on the American, and I hope at some point we get to see Jake Haener going against Clayton Tune and seeing that. I think that'd just be a cool matchup that we never got to see. With them being at Houston and Fresno State. I mean, both guys, I don't think either of them will get drafted. If they do, it'll be a late round. But same thing, these guys are going to make the team. Both had fantastic stats all of their career at both places. Can throw the ball, pretty much make every NFL throw. Both guys can do it. Haener being smaller, I think he's going to get slided even more, especially because Clayton Tune can run a little bit, he's been known to run a little bit and be a little more mobile than Haener was. But I mean, Haener's anticipation, and we saw that in the bowl game, the Pac-12 championship game. I mean, his anticipations and the ability to know what covers are in, know where to go to the ball. He can make the checks. I'm just excited to see both of these guys live because we never got a chance to get out to Houston or get out to a Fresno State game, so I cannot wait to watch those guys going up against, Pac-12, SEC, Big Ten, the quote Power 5 defensive backs, safeties. The whole thing is speed, right? It's a whole nother level. Well, we'll get to see these guys. And I think quarterbacks, at the most, a lot of the times in these situations do have somewhat of a disadvantage just because you don't know how exactly. I mean, you're running routes with these guys for like 2 or 3 days. So it's hard to know exactly how these guys are going to come out. what the timing is. But I'm just overall excited to see what these guys can do in this situation.
Well, that's why I hope they keep Dell with Tune. That's why I would think they would. I mean, although maybe they don't want to make it unfair for the other guys that maybe don't have a receiver with them.
Yeah.
But yeah, looking forward to see both of those guys. And they haven't released, as we're recording this show, what teams the QBs are going to be on. They haven't released receivers, and they haven't released defensive backs. Receiver-wise, I know we got Tank Dell. I know we got Rashee Rice, and we got Jalen. What's his last name?
Jalen Wayne.
Out of South Alabama.
Yep.
So I know the Kuipers and McShays of the world like Rice out of SMU. So looking forward to see what he does. But I don't know, Tip, you got any thoughts on that?
Well, with Rashee Rice, he's more of your possession type receiver. Doesn't have he has good straight line speed, but doesn't necessarily have that breakaway speed that can, kind of get take the top off of a defense. Has really tall frame, long arms, really huge catch radius, which will help him. And I can see why the Todd McShays and Mel Kipers like him. And I mean, dude, Tank Dell and just how athletic and how easy he makes the position look. I'm really excited to watch him play, and he's going to get drafted early. I feel like he's projected second round to middle rounds. So whichever team picks him up, I'm excited to see what he does. Tank's biggest weakness, and I'm not a huge fan of this weakness. It just says that he was constantly ran a limited route tree. Okay, so so he just has to pick up and run these different routes on the route tree. It's not like he's never ran these other routes before. So to me, that's not really much of it's a small weakness in my opinion. So yeah, really excited to watch all three of those guys.
So Pro Football Network has, and I don't know how reliable they are. They got Rice as a first-round pick in their mock to the Giants, which would be 25 overall. And then SB Nation put out an article today about the top 10 players that could rise after Senior Bowl. They have both Dell and Rice on their list. And then I saw another one where I think they've got Rice as the number 7 wide receiver in this draft. So they like him. So we'll see. We'll see what he does. I don't really know anything at all about DBs. So, actually, are there even any Group of 5 DBs? There's South Alabama corner.
And there's Boise State, J.L. Skinner.
Yeah,
he's a big body guy, and I'm excited to see him in person and see how he matches up against, just all the receivers in general. Because if I had to guess, they'll see some zone, but I think we're going to see what these guys can do, and they're going to line them up in man coverage and see, how they can move, how they can follow the receiver, how they can, if they can bump and run, all that stuff. So we'll see him. I can't wait to see him.
Honestly, most important part of the weekend is I want to see how many of these guys even know who Nelly is. The Nelly concert Friday night. They probably don't. Isn't that sad? Are we that old? These guys were born in
generational talents, bro.
2004, 2005. Yeah. Oh boy.
Yeah.
They may not know Nelly.
Should be a good time, man. I can't wait.
Yeah.
If anybody's down there, let us know, man. We'd love to meet up with anybody.
Yeah, so we should be getting some good content. We've linked up with some folks from South Alabama. We're gonna get a tour of their facilities, so we'll get that out to y'all on Instagram, Twitter, all of that. And then we're gonna get whatever video and pictures we can of these guys. Hopefully, we take the viral video of Saldiveri pancaking an Alabama defensive tackle.
Big time.
And then he gets drafted. Mel Kiper's talking about it.
Hopefully, we get to interview some of these guys. I hope we can catch them after practice and. Just be able to chop it up with these guys, let them know that, we've been supporting you all year long, man. Don't forget about us when you get to make the NFL.
No question. Well, before we go, if you guys do like the show, make sure you follow us on all the social media platforms at Group of Five Guys. hit like, hit subscribe, share it with your friends, share it with your neighbors, share it with your coworkers. We got to get the name out. We got to keep this thing rolling. If you're down in Mobile, holler at us, slide in the DMs. We got interview with Viking scout Alex Dale next week, and then we'll catch you on a podcast the week after that. Group of 5 guys, we out.